Mate! This is DinoSasha here, and welcome back to another review. And today we're going to take a look at the figure. It is the Safari Ltd. 1998 Kangaroo. Now, kangaroos are marsupial from the family Macropopidae, which means macropods, meaning large feet. And a common issue of the term is used by describe of the largest species from the family. The largest of them all is the red kangaroo. Now, the size differ from wallabies. The dwarf wallaby is about 14 to 105 centimeters, then the tail length is about 33 to 75 centimeters. And now, for the other species, like the tree kangaroos, which they diverge from climbing trees. Now, the wallaroos, on the other hand, are completely different from the kangaroo species. Now, wallaroos are indeed some unusual species. The red kangaroo is actually the largest member of the kangaroo family and the largest land mammal in Australia. Now, kangaroos are herbivorous marsupials, mainly eat plants. So, the terms by some differences, kangaroos are marsupials, which means they can take care of all offsprings on its own. Now, for the female kangaroos, which are much slimmer and a bit like a doe deer, while the male kangaroos are muscular and a bit of intimidating ones. Now, the only predators that have to deal with kangaroos are the extinct thylacines and the living dingoes. Now, let's talk about the sculpt. This kangaroo sculpt is actually very old style, and I mean, the kangaroos are one of the largest members of the marsupials, which means they're considerably very different. And yes, I mentioned about that, the kangaroo is the only herbivorous marsupial that I really have to. Well, it's a very good sculpting though. I wish I had a koala, or a frilled lizard, or anything else in Australia. But only I got one is the kangaroo and the Tasmanian devil. And don't forget to mention about the camel, which introduced you to Australia. Well, it's still a very nice looking kangaroo with a good sculpt. So the details is actually very nice, and it's a tripod pose, which means it's a kangaroo, meaning it's doing some tripod pose. So I'm okay with the kangaroo. And so a great sculpt and the pose as well. And the details is a bit fine. As well as somewhere else we'll do about the details is putting on the fur to the kangaroo. Which, basically, kangaroos are very cute animals, although in a captivity maybe be friendly, but in the wild they can be dangerous. Which, in a way, Australia is a very dangerous place for you around, which it's everything going to murder you, which that's okay though for me. And let's talk about the issue, it's the color scheme. Now, like the real kangaroo, it has a very different color scheme, which brownish colors, as well as the white underbody. Let's take a look at the head of the mama kangaroo. This is the great head of this particular mama kangaroo. And don't forget to mention, it has a joey, which means this kangaroo is a female. And this baby right over there is Joey, which means the baby kangaroo is a Joey. All marsupials babies are called Joeys, which that's a very cute name for the kangaroos, which they live in mobs, and they also have a dominant male, which that makes sense. Now for the actual thing is, the kangaroos are indeed docile animals. They can become intimidated by anybody. Well, in case if you don't know, kangaroos are indeed marsupials of the month. So, that makes sense. So, let's take a look at the roar and let's give this kangaroo a measure. From the length from the tip of the tail, a bit of tip of a snout, we're looking at about as 4 inches, and which is only at about around as 10 centimeters, and a time on top of an ear, which I guess at that point, it is around as 6.5 inches, and which is 6 centimeters, and about as 6.5, and about 2.5 inches. Now for comparison, I'm gonna bring up another marsupial. Although I didn't bring the herbivorous marsupial, but I do bring a carnivorous one called the Tasmanian devil. Now Tasmanian devil is indeed of a devil of itself because it's due to have sharp teeth and a screaming appearance. Now as for the kangaroo, it's big, herbivorous, and a bit of a hopper. So both of them are marsupials, And they did coexist in Australia at some point, somewhere old times, until Tasmanian's devils were wiped out and only remains in Tasmania, while kangaroo is still in Australia. Which, it's a very wholesome thing about the kangaroo. While as for Tasmanian devil, has a very strong jaw, so compared to kangaroo's neck, it might just bite down. So, a very decent, largest marsupial. And for the rating of the kangaroo, I think I'm gonna give it a solid 8.5 out of 10. Although it's an old style kangaroo, but it might concern that the kangaroos are indeed mammals. But if you know about this figure, let me know what you think, and if you know about anyway. So in case if you're a mammal fan in Australia, that's good because it will make you feel better and a bit of a choice. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications so you'll never miss the video. And leave a comments below, and I hope to see you for another review about the Schleich 2016 African elephant calf. Goodbye and see you all next time.